Hey everybody, we're live. This is for all practical purposes, an emergency broadcast because Zennie62Media Vlogger, Oakland Mayoral write-in candidate, and friend Derrick Soo, actually joined also by Seneca Scott, who's Oakland Mayoral candidate and friend and vlogger. But Derrick lost his shelter today, and in a tragic, never should have happened set of circumstances that are described right here in this video that he made earlier. I'm going to play right now. Derrick, you're with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, I'm going to play the video right now. And then we'll get. So here's Derrick talking right now. Okay.
22 write-in Oakland mayoral candidate, and I have just become a victim of an arsonist. We had a person show up here with a 1-gallon can. I was doing another video on another portion of my area. He set fire to this vehicle that was right next to me. I'm going to turn around so you can see it. That's what's left of the vehicle that he set fire to. He purposely set fire to it because I saw the 1 gallon of gasoline can, and then I'm just 10 feet away, and this is what's left of my place now. Nothing. I have absolutely nothing. So Zennie, I don't know how long I may be down, but this is a disaster. I've lost everything. I literally have only my iPad, my iPhone, clothes on my back, and my dog. Everything here is gone. It's all lost. And the fire department took 10 minutes to get here. And so they've suppressed the fire with a foam down here. So it'll minimize the flare-ups. Thanks for joining me today. I hope to be back soon. Thanks.
Okay, and Derrick, I'm really sorry that happened to you, and so we're here to send you some support, and also, folks, at the bottom of this video and blog is a link to Derrick Soo's PayPal. It's Derrick Soo. He also has the link on his Facebook page as well. Derrick, hey, can you talk more about the guy who did this? This is Derrick on the phone. I was trying to get him, but he's dealing with some technical challenges as a result of what happened to him. So, Derrick, tell us about the guy who did this that the Oakland Police should be arresting right now.
This couple is one of those homeless couples. This is a vehicle that they use for, as I call, a shooting gallery. The female comes out, she uses it as a place to do her meth, and then she acts out because of the place to drug use. The male, Gunnar, he is just tired of her because she lies, she cheats, she steals. She's also a streetwalker. And so he just is tired of that problem with her, but yet he won't break up with her. She keeps coming back, and then for over a year, he's been threatening to burn this van that she keeps coming back to. And then today I happen to be doing a video on the other side of my shelter, got that uploaded, and just about that time I see them fighting again. She's running off, and then the black smoke starts, and I said, oh shit, and I went to go get my water cannon, but unfortunately water and gasoline just makes the situation worse. And so by me trying to put or suppress the fire I actually made the fire worse, and it spread to my shelter 10 feet away. The heat was so intense. Even the spray from my water cannon at 10 feet, my skin on my forehead and my arms were blistering. So it was a
That's
real.
insane. Hey, Sid, I have something I'm gonna come go get and show you.
Only grab my iPad. I could grab my iPhone, and that was it. Because the fire was so intense inside my shelter at that time. When I went to grab the last remaining things that I could, I couldn't stay in there long. But at least I got those out.
Oh, Seneca Scott's showing us. I don't know if you can't see this, but Seneca, what you got?
Okay, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. Let's talk offline after this is over, or I may inform later. But here's something that I have called a fire ball, and you throw it into a vehicle fire safely from a safe distance.
Oh, I've seen that.
Yeah, and it puts it out, right? So you should use a combination of this and a fire extinguisher. You can finish it up with the fire extinguisher after you take out the core. You just throw this ball, like a bowling ball, right in the middle of the fire, and then it'll explode and put out the. It's meant for vehicles, so.
Let's hope he never needs that again.
No, we need to have these with him. I think Derrick should be sheltered. That's a whole nother thing. There's no reason he should be such an icon in Oakland, fighting for unhoused individuals and continue to be in the street. So hopefully,
arrange for the city to come bring the heavy equipment to move the K rails and scrape all the fire remains clean of the area, and then we can see about rebuilding something temporarily, at least to get me into the new year out here. Or I may end up, with one of my neighbors. I had a neighbor who has been very supportive of my work in the neighborhood, possibly might offer me a room. So we'll have to talk about that, the two of us, about that room, the cost and length of time. And that person also knows I have a really big dog too. So that it may not happen, but at least, it's something.
Yeah, Derrick, there's people chiming in. KC Zerbel writes, "I'm so sorry this happened to you, Derrick. We have your back 100,000%. PayPal incoming." Dave Compton, who's a regular contributor to this show, as you know, actually says, "Let Derrick know I will do what I can to help by the way PayPal as soon as I set it up." Hey, David, there is actually on Facebook, and actually the bottom of the text to this video on YouTube, there's actually a link that goes directly to his PayPal. So you can go there.
I think he means set up his own PayPal, set up PayPal for him, maybe.
Oh, well, I was just basically trying to help him out by getting the money to him. This is already one set up, right? So anyway, this is the kind of thing, and what bothers me, aside from the obvious fact that this happened to him, is that the police, Seneca, did not take a report.
Yeah, the police were down here just simply for traffic control. That's all they did. And I go to the officers that I know who did this, and you know who that person is, because you just let him out of jail not that long ago. And they said, well, we don't really care. Essentially is what he said. We don't care. It's a homeless matter.
So because it's homeless, it's okay to be a criminal?
Yeah, it's okay, that your shit gets burned up and you don't have any rights on the street.
This is ridiculous. I mean, this is absolutely,
Well, Zennie, this has been going on for years. Last year, I did an investigative report with KTVU.
Uses to deal with that and to change that situation.
Now, Seneca, say what you were going to say again, please.
Austin, last year we did an investigative report or story with KTVU and Brooks Charles. And we then, a year ago, we were averaging 3 fires per day in homeless encampments alone, with a good amount of them being reported as arson. We've held that average for 2 years now, Zennie, 2 years. And we're not getting any arson investigations. The fire spoke out about it, and it had to do with the cooperation between OPD and the fire department having enough staffing. But I think it's inexcusable not to pursue criminal complaints of arson. Now you have increased acts of arson with the underpasses that people are shooting flares. We've had about 5 fires in the underpasses in like the last 2 weeks. Only one of those was purported to have come from a homeless encampment. The rest were flares, alleged, people shooting flares off into the brush.
Mm-hmm.
So we have firebugs now, and this is one of the things that happen. And
I've known about a lot of these arsonists for years. I've been identifying them for over 3 years to OPD and the city. And
what do they say then? Why don't they arrest or investigate?
They don't do anything. The police don't care because it's a homeless issue, and so they more or less tell us, go talk to the homeless administrator.
Is it they don't care, or is it that the city council and the mayor has created a condition where if they even tried to care, it gets so political, in which they didn't try because they're not able to get it done anyway, right? Yeah. I'm not saying that's the case, but I don't think it's that simple. And I wouldn't levy that accusation onto a blanket accusation on the OPD. They don't care about, arson. I think that what can they do if they're not allowed to enforce laws? And I'll give you a point. And I know Zennie, this is not Zennie, Derrick. This is something that Derrick and I don't agree on in totality, which is fine. We're both reasonable adults who are intelligent enough to know that you can debate and still be good to each other, unlike a lot of people in Oakland. But in the encampment management policy, fire is one of the most frequent things mentioned for a need to manage encampment so we don't have fires, right? And yet they continue to happen.
And it's used as an intimidation factor in some cases. So yeah, if you don't pay your bills to your drug dealer, they burn you up. You don't pay your rent to a gang member who may say you have to pay rent for that spot you sleep on. You don't pay them, you get your shit burned up. And that's what happens out here.
So basically
do nothing.
All this is allowed to happen. What would happen if, oh, by the way, a fire happened to hit something really important, right? Per se.
That did happen. It almost happened at Wood Street, which what prompted the governor to get involved.
Here on Hawley Street, it burned the whole side of the building. They had to patch it.
Yeah, and that nonprofit center. Remember that nonprofit center burned down.
Hold on a second. Say that again, Derrick. What about Hawley Street?
I am standing right next to the Oakland AT&T service yard, where all their trucks come, where all their service equipment for AT&T is located here in Oakland. There was stolen vehicles placed next to a fence and one of the service buildings here on Hawley Street. The vehicle was set on fire and it burned the building 3 stories tall. It burned the telephone pole. It put into question all the high power wires that were right underneath the fire, and also your data communication lines were right underneath that fire.
Hey, I would say so. You know what, Seneca? Instead of the council members having another forum, and the council members and all the candidates, y'all ought to be down at Derrick's helping them out. Somebody ought to just say, hey, you know what? We got an emergency here.
Well, I'm going to make sure I mention it at the forum. I don't know what we can do to help out, but I think that since 100 people are coming, putting the PayPal link into the forum chat.
Yeah.
And letting everyone know that because the topic of the forum is houselessness, right, and housing insecurities, it makes it more apropos that we support Derrick as a community.
And not only that, too, Derrick's going through this immediate, but think about it. It would really set a tone if the mayoral candidates together pledge to go down and help out homeless people as a group, rather than talking about and making people a campaign artifact, right? I mean, that it just feels icky that we're in a situation where we have folks who are comfortable and 3 council members. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
What district is Derrick in? 6, 7?
What's that again?
what district are you in, Derrick?
I'm in Trevor Reed, District 7.
Yeah. And see, she ought to be down there. Have she ever visited you?
No, never.
See, that's kind of crap I'm talking about. You know, she talks about the homeless. Here's a guy who's visible, all right, and has been for years. And you would think that she would be down there by now, having talked to him more than once, trying to get him involved in her campaign.
Mm-hmm.
We don't care.
When she was first elected, you know, she had me, and then, you know, after her first town hall meeting, she cut me off from everything.
What do you mean she cut you off?
She cut me off. She said, I'm going to put you in touch with my staff and her chief of staff, and that was in Alameda. And when I tried to contact them, I get crickets. And
Yeah, I would say that, Derrick, there's no excuse for that. But you get a lot of emails, and here's the thing. It's hard for me to keep up with the number of emails and calls I get from concerned neighbors asking me to help them with advocacy, and I'm not even an elected official. So,
yeah, and Trevor Reed always talks about, you know, what she does for the community. I haven't seen anything.
But here's the thing, you know what, Derrick? I mean, and Seneca, those lists, those requests you get, you should count them up and then say, hey, look, I'm sending this to you guys, and make it an issue. The reason why
I always send it to the council person every single time.
The reason why I say make it visible is I think of when Ted Dang ran for mayor against Elihu. He didn't win, but one of the things that he did was people were sick of getting ticketed all the time. Mm-hmm. And he actually made that a spectacle on television. Television then mattered, right? But these are the things you do to get attention for issues that are plaguing us. And this is number one. You know, he could have died.
Yeah.
All right. He could have died because the guy, sounds like you're talking about, Derrick, had no thought about who he would hurt by burning something down.
Yeah, he's a felon anyway. He doesn't care.
I mean, I will hope they're felons that have better judgment than that. You know what I mean?
So he still lives right there.
Hey, Derrick, Seneca was asking again.
The guy burned the vehicle down. You're an eyewitness. You told the police you have an eyewitness account of an arson, and they didn't arrest him.
No, all they did was traffic control right at the end of the block. That's all they did.
Wow.
That's wild. Hey,
they just make sure people don't run over the fire hoses. You know, that's what they did. That's what the police did. They didn't investigate. They didn't come down and ask me any questions.
Why not?
Because they don't.
I don't think that. I'm not going to accept that as a simple enough answer. Because if I believe they don't care, and I was to agree with you, then why could I, in good faith, advocate for even more people they don't care to pay them?
But here's the thing, Seneca. The thing about it is I've been in government since 1987, and the one thing that I know is that when people care to do something, they don't wait for somebody else to do it. They don't care if it's person has a badge. They don't care what the person's title is. It gets done, and that's with everything from trying to save the Raiders in Oakland or bring them back, to lights around the lake, to, I mean, I can list all of the initiatives that started because a person cared. All right.
So, but who's in charge? So who doesn't care? Who's in charge of this entity? The chief doesn't care, or the police commission doesn't care?
The elected. You know why? Because we're all pointing fingers. Nobody's saying, hey, you know what?
That's what I'm getting at, right?
Nobody cares, because what happens?
I do agree with you there. No, City Hall doesn't care as a whole. Yeah,
the people don't care, because see, the people are looking for somebody to do something. And in fairness to the common Oaklander, the common Oaklander is just trying to keep a roof over their head. All right,
not get killed trying to get the catalytic converter back.
And people have like not just one job. A lot of people have 2 or 3 or 4 jobs. Okay. So people are just
well. Think about it. You had one guy try to stop an arsonist who was killed by a squatter. I've had several homes burnt down in my neighborhood because people were squatting next door, and burning down people who lived there and families' homes and generational wealth, right? And so you have this arson problem, but no one's getting arrested or prosecuted for it. I think that there's something we need to talk about tonight. Derrick, I don't know if you can sign up or where you're at, but it may be worth it for you to draw attention to this tragedy.
No, he's not. He's not. He's homeless. He is truly like he's in a spot.
I thought you were with your friend.
But he's not. Here's the thing, though. But Seneca, he's lost everything.
Oh no, I understand. I mean,
what I'm saying is like I can tactily. I've never been in that position, but I can emphasize and tactily feel what he's talking about because we've done so many programs from his home inside, and I know what he's missed. Okay, he doesn't have that, so his whole world has been wrecked. So it's not where he can comfortably sit there.
We'll post it. I'll make sure we post it there. You don't need to come. I didn't want to be insensitive. Just what this is. It's interesting. I don't want to use the word timing, but for this tragedy to occur right before a mayoral forum about this issue and homelessness and things like that is something that we shouldn't ignore.
No, because they're all comfortable. You know, everybody's like, oh, comfortable. He's not. He is not comfortable. Okay, and we have a lot of people who are comfortable making decisions for people who are not. And that's one reason why I sought after Derrick to be on as a vlogger to begin with, because I said there are too many people comfortable talking about homeless. I want somebody who's going through this to vlog, to get him some help, to get him extra money, which is what we've been able to do, and get his name out there, and hey, help him become mayor. And that was the idea, because people like him should have a voice in what's happening to stop what's happening. It happens because we don't care. I don't care. You know, John Reedman talks about socialism and all this stuff, but at the end of the day, he don't care. All right. No one cares. He doesn't. You know, I mean, he doesn't care.
Hey, you care, Zennie. Derrick cares, and I care.
Yeah.
People.
And
they do nothing.
Yeah.
We give them the names of the characters, the perpetrators, and yet Oakland Police do nothing.
Yeah.
They sit on their hands.
Yeah. David Compton says this happened in downtown Oakland, it would have been a different story. Oh, yeah, because something would have burned up. Yeah. But the whole point is, if you look at downtown Oakland's condition, you know, they don't care either about, I mean, the city is going down, you know, and you have a group of people who are in charge who they want to yell and scream, or like, let's take Shang's, you know, Shang Tao's assistant.
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon Harmony. You know, he's out there not telling people he represents Shang on social media and getting into fights with people. Brandon, you ought to have your ass down there helping out, representing the council member, and forget about the mayor stuff. But he spends more time doing this on the taxpayer dime, all right, than helping people. It's garbage, man. It's freaking garbage. Anyway, I'm going to close out. He help you get the word out. Derrick, hang tough. Pray to God. We got you, man.
All righty. Appreciate the assist, everybody.
Thanks, Seneca, for stopping by.
Yeah, and I'll put that link on the mayor forum in an hour or so when we get on. We're going to start in an hour.
All right, cool.
It starts at 6, but we got to get on a little early.
Okay. God bless you.
I'll make sure I talk about it and dedicate some time. You don't mind, do you, Derrick?
Not at all. Go ahead.
Okay, Derrick, hang in there, man. I'm going to end this broadcast. Stick around in the background, you two. Hey, everybody. Right. Thanks for sticking around. Dave, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Help Seneca.